and welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm Stephen Gatchell, BigID's Director of Advisory. In today's session, we'll cover digital transformation, a transformational mindset, and organizational structures. I have the pleasure of talking with Talal Butt, Global Vice President in Enterprise Transformation and Architecture at Rockwell Automation. Talal, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you, Stephen. Glad to be here.
So for those in the audience that may not be as familiar with change management that you may be with, can you describe what is change management, some of the key aspects of it, and why is it so critical to the success of a digital transformation, or quite frankly, any transformation, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's, as I mentioned before, change and adoption. I would say change, adoption, and communication are three of the big pillars that, if not done right, doesn't matter if you have the right technology, doesn't matter if you have the right strategy, the transformations are just going to struggle. And in a lot of cases, the case studies that we kind of looked at, the transformation kind of fizzled away because those pieces were just not connecting well. So I kind of look at it as all-encompassing effort. So change management, to me, is about ensuring that we're building the right things, we're getting the right feedback from our customers and users to begin with. Number two, it's ensuring that we are focused on delivering things in a more iterative manner, and we're making sure that all of our stakeholders understand how we are delivering it, so they're not expecting a big bang. Then it's ensuring that whatever we're building, we have a really strong partnership with our business sponsors, our customers, and our internal execution teams to ensure that it's being used and adopted, right? So you kind of have to kind of force that function if that's not happening. Otherwise, just don't do it, right? Just step back and do something else that is more important. So you kind of have to kind of really be in tune to where the pulse of the organization is. So you're building the right thing, you're building things right, and then ensuring that that's being adopted. And then I think the third biggest piece is communicating at all the different levels around what's going on, what are we doing, and how it's changing the lives of the customers, partners for the better. Now, the challenges obviously come up. It's not an easy task. I think this is the most important and the most difficult part of any transformation as well, which is why I said, a lot of times, leaders or companies think of digital transformation as like, hey, we're going to plop in a new system or, automate this and automate that. And I think those are really important pieces as well. But the most difficult piece is to kind of rally the troops across all the domains of an organization to focus on where we're going and make sure that that engine collectively is working really well. And, again, support from your leadership is really important. And it's really important that, you're showing consistent progress towards your goal, because that builds the trust and the confidence on the senior level and within the team as well.
Yeah, so unpack this a little bit, because there was a lot in there, right? We're talking about change management, we're talking about communication, we're talking about measuring success, defining success, we're talking about communicating that out to the appropriate key stakeholders, et cetera. So to me, it's not traditional IT or technology, right? And we're not using IT in this frame. We're using technology as a concept here. And it sounds like the people that are really technical, that are going through these digital transformations, better have some really good soft skills like communication, change management, and so forth, or regardless of what they do, they may not be successful, right?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this with our teams a lot, that this is a great time to be a technology leader. Every organization, every vertical, every industry is going through these massive transformations, whether it's envisioned and led by themselves or they're forced into it due to market conditions. Either way, they're going through these massive changes, and all of these transformations have a huge technology component. So the technology leaders are kind of the pseudo lead of these things. So we definitely have a seat on the table already. But a lot of technology leaders are not really used to leading big change management efforts as well. They're really good at their technology jobs, but this changes the role of the technology leader considerably as well. And I think for the better, right? It gives them the leeway to think about business at large, where the organization is going, where the business is going, how are we connecting to our customers' experiences, and then simplifying them, and what makes sense for us to do, and how to sequence things right. So the role of the technology leader, I think, is evolving for the better. It's making their roles a lot more bigger and larger in the context of the organization. And there's a lot riding on those leaders because, as I mentioned, change management and adoption and communication at that scale, they need a lot of help themselves at times. And they need to kind of learn at times how to kind of navigate a lot of the political aspects of leading big transformations as well. And some leaders are really good at it. They're natural at it. Others need to kind of learn through how to kind of make that transformation successful in the environment that they are living in. So it's an exciting time because the opportunity is great, but it's also a time where a lot of learning would happen as well.
Yeah, and I think it's on both sides. I think the business it has to learn the technical aspects as well, right? So if you talk about things like customer experience and how marketing can use data, right? Talk about digital transformation. Data is a big component of that. Or we can't get away from large language models or chat GPT conversations because now that technology is accessible to business people that may not even have to be technical anymore, right? So it's a nice collaboration of coming together. And in the end, it seems like there's some major cultural changes going on here, right? So we talked about change management in that context, the communication and so forth. That all really leads to some cultural changes, right? What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on cultural changes or examples you can share with us around Rockwell?
Yeah, I mean, I talk about this all the time that technology in a lot of ways has become commoditized now, right? So where you would have needed, data engineers and software engineers, now with the advent of tools like ChatGPT that work, or even before that, I mean, there was low code, no code software platforms where a lot of our business stakeholders could do a lot more productivity gains by using them themselves. And I truly believe that as technology leaders, we should be embracing those because that makes the world go faster, not even within our own enterprises, but more even beyond that. But we got to kind of do it in a way that is controlled so that we are harnessing the power of all of these different engineers now sitting in different areas, and they're all kind of moving the boat in the same direction. And I think that's one of the roles that the technology leaders play with the advent of these new tools that are available to kind of provide the guardrails, the framework, and then let the organization be creative as much as they can be to make the world that they live in and they understand better than any technology person would, to make that more productive, make that more seamless for our customers. So I think in that scenario, there's a little bit of a mindset shift because if you look at traditional technology organizations, they would want to have control over everything. Who does what, how they do it. We're going to create this application or this interface or this X, Y, or Z for you. And I think the world has kind of shifted quite a bit. So you gotta kind of embrace it, but provide those guidelines, provide those policies, provide that framework that the rest of the organization can play in. And that, I think, fosters a lot of innovation that one organization could not just do on their own.
So I want to thank you, Talal. Appreciated the conversation, enjoyed it very much. So please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews, and thank you to the audience for your time.
All right, thank you.